All right, today we're not just looking at some spot on a map. Nope. We are diving headfirst into an experience, a really raw, dramatic piece of the Aberdeenshire coast, where nature is putting on its most powerful show. Let's go explore the Bullers of Buchan.
Yeah, that quote pretty much sums it up. That's the first thing that hits you, just this simple, completely unfiltered sense of awe. You're walking from this little car park down a simple path, and then all of a sudden, bam, the ground just opens up and the air is filled with the sound of the sea and thousands upon thousands of birds. It's a moment that honestly catches you completely off guard.
It's a total sensory overload, but in the best way imaginable. The noise, it's just unbelievable. It's this constant chorus of gulls and kittiwakes and guillemots. You can smell the salt in the air. You can feel the wind coming right off the North Sea. This is not some quiet, peaceful little spot. It is a living, breathing, roaring piece of coastline.
So what is it that makes this place so incredibly dramatic? Well, it all comes down to its amazing central feature. Let's take a closer look at the geology that gives the Bullers of Buchan its name and its absolutely breathtaking character.
Okay, so this is the main event, the pot. Just try to imagine a gigantic sea cave carved out over thousands of years by the nonstop power of the waves. Then one day, the roof just gave way, creating this incredible, almost perfectly round chasm. The sea doesn't just crash against the cliffs here. It floods right into the heart of the land through this massive natural archway at the bottom. And the scale of this thing is just staggering. The chasm plunges 30 meters down, that's nearly 100 feet. When you're standing at the edge, you are looking straight down this sheer drop into this churning cauldron of water below. It's a view that really commands your respect and, definitely keeps you a safe distance from the edge. The name itself, the Bullers, is just perfect. One theory is that it comes from the French word bouillir, which means to boil, and that perfectly captures how the water froths and churns during a storm. The other theory points to the Scots word bullir, which means a rushing of water. Honestly, when you see it in person, both explanations feel completely 100% right. But this place is so much more than just rock and water. These cliffs, they're alive. They're like a vertical city for this incredible array of seabirds, which transforms this geological wonder into a really vital wildlife sanctuary. The sheer variety of life packed in here is just mind-blowing. If you visit between April and July, the cliffs are absolutely crammed with nesting birds. You've got the iconic puffins, thousands of kittiwakes, and then you have guillemots and razorbills just packed onto these impossibly narrow ledges. It is a non-stop spectacle of nature, just birds constantly flying in and out from the sea. And these birds have developed some incredible ways to survive here. The puffin's colorful beak? Well, that's actually a temporary covering that it sheds after the breeding season is over. The guillemot lays a pear-shaped egg that's specifically designed to roll in a tight circle, not right off the cliff. And the fulmar has this amazing tube nose that actually lets it drink seawater. I mean, each one is just perfectly adapted to this harsh, beautiful place. And hey, while you're looking up at all the birds on the cliffs, don't forget to look out to sea. The bay is a favorite spot for gray seals, and if you get really lucky, you might even see a pod of dolphins passing by. It's a complete marine ecosystem from the cliff face right on out into the North Sea. Now, this coastline's power hasn't just shaped rock and sheltered wildlife, it has also captured the human imagination for centuries. So now we're going to peel back another layer, moving from natural history to the rich legends and literary giants connected to this very spot. People have been drawn to this place for a very, very long time. There are prehistoric monuments nearby which shows ancient human activity. Way back in 1773, the famous literary duo Boswell and Dr. Johnson paid a visit, and Johnson described the pot perfectly as a monstrous cauldron. By the early 1900s, it was such a popular tourist stop that it even had its own dedicated railway station. But maybe its most famous connection is with the author Bram Stoker. He was a regular visitor in the late 1800s. You can just feel him absorbing the power of this landscape, experiencing the moody elements, as he put it, the wind, the mist, the dramatic cliffs right near Slane's castle. It's easy to imagine him peering into that boiling cauldron of water, surrounded by Gothic ruins, just finding the perfect turbulent atmosphere to spark a legendary idea.
And that's right. The imposing, ruined Slane's castle, which is just a short walk down the coast from the Bullers, is widely considered to be the direct inspiration for Count Dracula's castle. When you see that castle perched on the cliff edge, just getting battered by the elements, It's really not hard to see how it fired up Stoker's Gothic imagination.
So you're probably wondering, how can you experience all this for yourself? Let's get into the practical details for exploring this incredible, untamed piece of the coast safely.
Getting there is actually pretty straightforward. It's located just off the A975 coastal road. There's a free, though kind of small car park, and from there, it's just a 5 or 10 minute walk to the pod. Now, for the best wildlife viewing, you're going to want to plan your trip between April and July. But just be aware, this is a completely natural site. There's no cafes, no toilets, no visitor center. You've got to bring everything you need with you.
And this right here is the single most important piece of advice, so please listen up. This is not some manicured tourist park. The paths are rough, they are narrow, and in a lot of places they run right along the cliff edge with no fence whatsoever. It is a wild and dangerous place, so you absolutely must exercise extreme caution, especially if you have kids or dogs with you. The Bullers are a major highlight on the Buchan Coastal Path, and that gives you a few options. You can just take the very short walk from the car park to see the pot, or you can make it part of a longer hike. The most popular route is the 2-mile walk south to see Slains Castle, which connects the natural wonder with the whole Dracula legend. Or you can head north into the Longhaven Wildlife Reserve for even more rugged coastline and incredible bird watching.
So, after you've navigated the wild paths and taken in all the sounds and the history, what's the real takeaway? What's the reward for making the journey to this corner of Scotland?
You know, this quote from someone who visited just nails it. You might go with an idea of what you're going to see, but the reality is so much more powerful. It's the kind of place that really stays with you, a memory of raw nature that's more special and more extraordinary than any photograph could ever convey. Which kind of brings us to a final thought. In a world that's full of famous and often very crowded tourist destinations, what's the real value of seeking out a place like the Bullers of Buchan? Why should this matter to us? Well, the reward is an experience that feels personal. It's not overrun with tourists. You get to discover a true hidden gem, a place where you can just stand on the edge of a cliff and feel the full, untamed power of the natural world. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary places are the ones you have to seek out for yourself.